How's it going, everybody? Great Say Geek here. I kind of want to make this video on my Age of the Ring video that I made. Grim the Wolf, shout out to you, asked about making this video, and it's something I wanted to do anyways. I think it's just going to be better for those of you who are looking specifically for this, just to have it be easier to find. So there's going to be two parts of this video. This first part, we're going to talk about Age of the Ring and how we can use lossless scaling to improve the performance of Age of the Ring, okay? Or even Battle for Middle-earth, if you're just playing the original games, works the same, okay? And the second half is going to be Lord of the Rings Online for those of you who want to use it for that, and the timestamp will be obviously in this video. So this is the Age of the Ring launcher. Now, if you don't know where to get this, check out my Age of the Ring video. I have links in the description of where you can get this, plus where you can get the all-in-one launcher for the original games, okay? They're both standalone things, very, very, very easy to install if you've never played this before, or you played it when you were a kid and you want to play it again. For me personally, I love the Age of the Ring. I think it's the best mod out there for Battle for Middle-earth. I think they do really great work, and so this is the mod I always recommend for people who want to play the best experience for Battle for Middle-earth. Okay, also in the comments in that video, I've also posted a link for how you can play this game multiplayer. Now, I'm bringing this up at the beginning because unfortunately, with the 9.2 update that just happened for Age of the Ring, it kind of broke the multiplayer for whatever reason when using it with the Battle for Middle-earth all-in-one launcher, which is how I usually do it. However, there are two ways you can do it, and most people use Game Ranger. And I don't know if Game Ranger comes with this program already installed. I think I had it installed already. But when you're in Age of the Ring, if you click these three dots here, okay, and you click, there's PvP mode, and you enable it, you'll have a few things pop up. One will say Open Game Ranger, and then you'll have these two Game Executable and Extra flags. You'll need those to how to set up Game Ranger to play online. But you click Game Ranger, it opens it up, and if you click on that link in the comments on that Age of the Ring video, it'll take you to their wiki page that talks about how you can set that up. The other way of doing it, which I've never done before, is using Radman VPN. Also an option you might be able to do, although Game Ranger is probably going to be more efficient. Long time ago when I used Game Ranger, I had a problem with the game crashing a lot, so that's why I like the all-in-one launcher. So hopefully they fix that, but there is options out there if you really want to play multiplayer with your friends. But if you're playing solo, don't have to worry about that at all, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and launch the game. Okay, once you have Age of the Ring installed, it's done all its updates, whatever, we're going to go ahead and launch this, okay? And we also have Lossless Scaling open. Okay, now Lossless Scaling, okay, I talked about this before, is not a free program, okay? It is something that you have to purchase on Steam. It's very cheap comparatively, but it is a really nice program for these two games. This is actually the settings that I use for Age of the Ring, okay? I don't touch the scaling. I turn it off. Don't even touch that because I can set to 4K in the game. Don't have to worry about that. Okay, it's just the frame generation. Now to get this, Age of the Ring and Battle for Middle-earth natively runs at 30 FPS. Okay, to get up to 90 FPS or even more, you can set it at different multiplayers. I have the type of frame generation to LSFG 3.1, fixed mode, and multiplier ×3. And you can kind of just look and see everything that I have on here. So we'll kind of minimize that or make it the box smaller. I have two monitors, so I like to move this to my second monitor. And we'll get back to it in just a second. Okay, but let's go ahead and launch the game here. All right, so now we're in the title page. We've loaded in the game. We're gonna go ahead and go into skirmish, just get into a mode so you can kind of hopefully in this video see the FPS change. All right, so now that we're in here, now this is already moving at 30 FPS. Now to get into lossless scaling, to use that, you're gonna need to tab out of the game. So I like to just press Alt Tab, okay? Takes me back to my desktop. And then again, we're gonna go on this frame generation. Okay, we're going to set it to just how we talked about before, and we're going to click scale. When you click scale, you're going to wait 5 seconds. It's going to give you 5 seconds to click back into the game. Okay, so we're going to hit scale, okay, and we're going to go into the game. Okay, now I think because of the recording software, normally in the top left, like right now, it's saying 30 FPS / 91 FPS. Hopefully you can see in the video, hopefully it's capturing the frame generation boost, but it is way smoother. So you can just click scale, click back into the game, and that should pop up for you, and you'll tell instantly how smooth the game looks. It just feels and plays way smoother, makes it feel a little bit modern, okay? And yeah, that's as simple as it is. That lets you play Age of the Ring or Battle for Middle-earth at 60 FPS, 90 FPS, however you want to set that. You see Rohan fighting some orcs. Yeah, that's pretty much as simple as it is on that. So if you're looking at Age of the Ring and you have lossless scaling, this is how you can get more FPS out of your game. Let's go ahead. For those of you who want to talk about Lord of the Rings Online, we'll talk about that next. If you just wanted it for Age of the Ring, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully this helps you. And if you have any questions, put it down in the comments and I'll try to answer them there. Thanks again, and let's move on to Lord of the Rings Online. So let's move on to Lord of the Rings Online. Now, I did do a kind of a brief guide on how to do this in my Lord of the Rings Online video. This isn't the same recording that I put in that video. I'm just doing it again just for the sake of this. But I think it'd be a good standalone video to throw this into this video as well. So how do we utilize lossless scaling, and why would we want to do it on Lord of the Rings Online? So Lord of the Rings Online, one of the biggest problems I had with it, especially playing on a 4K monitor, was it was really difficult to read everything. The layout just wasn't very good. Once you go past 1080p, it gets a little difficult for most people. But lossless scaling helps that. Basically what it does is you set your game's resolution lower to 1080p or 1440p, whatever one you like. And you can upscale it, and you can also increase the frames while still keeping the larger images or the larger UI scale of a lower resolution, if that makes sense. Okay, now so lossless scaling, like I said, it's something you have to buy on Steam. It's not a free program. However, if you really want to get into Lord of the Rings Online, and like we talked about before, Age of the Ring can be a really great tool to just enhance the experience. As you can see, I have the game in windowed mode because right now it is not being scaled up. It's being set to its in-game internal settings. Okay, I have it set to 1440p windowed resolution. On this, I pretty much have all the graphic settings maxed out, but you can tinker with it, whatever your settings are. Okay, now windowed mode is very important when you are starting this game. So what you're going to do is you're going to have Lord of the Rings Online pulled up, and you're also going to launch lossless scaling. So I'll move that over as well, and we'll kind of put that over. Now, this is basically what you're going to get when you open lossless scaling. You can set profiles. If you want to set one for Age of the Ring and then one of Lord of the Rings Online, you can create profiles and just easily swap between the two. So you guys can see these are the settings that I use for Lord of the Rings Online. Okay, I set the scaling to LS1, mode auto, sync mode default, max frame latency 3. You can kind of read through all that. Okay, the biggest thing is the scaling type. You can tinker with that, and the mode I have it set to auto and full screen, so that's going to make the game go into full screen. And then frame generation I have set to LSFG 3.1, fix mode, and multiplier ×2. I have it ×2 for Lord of the Rings Online, but as you saw for Age of the Ring, if you watch that part, I have it multiplied to ×3 just because it's already starting at 30 FPS, and I wanted to bump it up to 90. Okay, so once you have that open, you're going to click scale, and it's going to give you 5 seconds to click into the window of the game you're playing. There's a shortcut. It might be Control S. I'm not 100% sure, where you can just do it by clicking the game and then shortcut into pressing the scale button. But I just click scale for the sake of this video. You can see the countdown, and we'll click into their Lord of the Rings Online window. So then it's going to blow up full screen, and it's going to kind of force it into an upscaled 4K. Okay, now it's not going to be perfect, or obviously it's like a native 4K. It's not going to be perfect, but it looks still pretty good. Okay, and then obviously how I've already set the UI, it's going to scale up, but it's going to be about the same size as it was. So all of these, everything's readable. Everything's incredibly readable. There are some things in the settings of Lord of the Rings Online that you can just go in and set the UI scale of, but it's not everything. You can see there's a lot of things in here where you can boost it up. I like to set mine mostly to 1.3. There are some things that are set higher to 1.81, but I think that might have actually gone up automatically. I don't remember tinkering with that. But when I do the UI scale plus or minus up here, usually set it to 1.3 on a 4K monitor. And then of course you can do control, and then I forget the button's name that's under the backspace. It's like the / and the line, whatever that button's called. And you can move things around. Now you're gonna have to do this if it's your first time playing Lord of the Rings Online. You're gonna have to set it up the way that you want it, move things around, okay, while you have it in windowed mode to the resolution you want it. Whatever it is, just tinker with it. You may even have to do that once it's scaled up and lossless, but you just move it around where you want it so it fits on your screen the way that you want it. And the great thing is once it's done, in the chat bar, which you can kind of see under my webcam here, you can actually save the loadout. So I think it's UI layout save, and then you can just name it whatever you want. I haven't done it in a while. In my last video too, I also said it could be layout save or save layout, but I think it's layout save. Then you do 4K and you can save it. It actually shows up in general chat. It's kind of under my webcam, but if you did it right, it'll say in yellow, saved UI layout to yada, 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 wherever you saved it. And to load it, you do the same thing, you just type in /UI layout load 4K. And this is also really great to do if you are playing on 2 different computers, maybe a laptop that's 1080p or 1440p, and you don't want to constantly adjust your UI. You can save it individually on each system, because this layout natively, like if you adjust everything in the game, once you go to your other computer, it's going to stay, like all those adjustments are going to be made on there too. So if you're playing different resolutions, it's going to be all wonky. So it's easy just to have a preset loadout that you can do to make sure that whatever computer you're playing on has the UI ready to go of what you want. You could just load it in and swap between the two. But in the top left corner, you can see anytime you have lossless going, you'll see this and I think you can turn this off, but I like to have it on. You can see like right now, natively, I'm running at 118 FPS, but I'm actually getting 235 because of lossless scaling. Okay. And I turned the frame generation on in lossless because when I had just the scaling on in this game, the FPS was really wonky. So by turning the frame generation on, fixed it. That's kind of how you can have a little bit better of experience of Lord of the Rings Online, just by getting past the wonky UI that's not really supported for higher resolution monitors. This can kind of force it to do that. So something I wanted to throw in on the tail end of this video, the second half of this video, for those of you who didn't see that Lord of the Rings Online video, and there may be some things I explained better in that video, so go check it out if this didn't quite make sense to you on that. But yeah, very simple. You open the Lord of the Rings Online in windowed mode to the resolution, either 1080p or 1440p. Those are the two you want to keep it at. Just kind of depending on your monitor, pick which one has the UI scaled to your liking, where it's more readable to you. And then open up lossless scaling, set those settings to how I have it or what works best for you. Click scale, jump back into the game. One thing I will touch up on, which I did mention in the video, sometimes when you do lossless scaling, not always, but sometimes your cursor will disappear. For whatever reason, it's kind of a glitch that your cursor likes to disappear. When that happens, if you click C and pull up your character sheet, sometimes it'll automatically appear, the cursor, when you press C. Other times you have to kind of shake the mouse a little bit and it'll appear. Weird thing, but that's like the easiest way to get the mouse to appear when you're doing it. So with that being said, just to avoid that, if you're playing a new character, you've never played Lord of the Rings Online before, I would just create your character in windowed mode if the cursor is being weird, and then do lossless scaling when you jump into the game. But sometimes it works too, even when you're doing it at the beginning. So you just have to play with that. But just a note, just in case the cursor has disappeared and you don't know what's going on. But that's gonna be it for this video. Like I said, it's not very long, but it should help those of you who want to play Age of the Ring or Lord of the Rings Online using lossless scaling. Really cool tool. I know there's some people out there who know about it, but I didn't know about it for the longest time, and it's really helped both of those games immensely. It made Lord of the Rings Online way more enjoyable for me to play. So let me know if this helped you. If there's something you need clarification on, please ask me in the comments, and I'll try and answer that as soon as I can. But thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are awesome, and I'll see you next time.